Well, good evening. This is Suresh Shetye. I am a host of this talk show on leadership on behalf of India Coaching Federation. And it is a pleasure for me to invite our guest for this evening, none other than Dr. Divya Tanvar. Before we go ahead and introduce Dr. Divya, first I would like to give vote of thanks and the gratitude I would like to express for my audience and the viewers, those who are watching this 12th talk show that is being telecasted at this point in time. So what we are trying to highlight here, that with every talk show we go ahead and we ensure that we cover various topics of the leadership styles, leadership traits, and today's topic is exemplary leadership. Exemplary leadership, we'll talk in detail, but before that, let me take this opportunity. It's my privilege to welcome Dr. Divya Tanvar. And I would like to just give her, although she has got a very detailed profile running into almost 6 pages, but for paucity of time, I would like to cover the major highlights of her credentials and how she has moved in her career over last 10 years. And it is very phenomenal because the rare skill what we see in India is someone who is a subject matter expert in the area called cyber security. And this is the privilege to have Dr. Divya with us today as a part of this talk show on leadership. So she has done her PhD, and of course in terms of her qualification, MPhil, she has done MCA, she has done MBA and BSc electronics. Currently she is holding the position of a director with Sanskriti University. And in terms of her other credentials, she is a social worker, media panelist, columnist, and of course, she's a subject matter expert, as I said earlier, on cyber security. She's also dealing with online e-learning and women empowerment. And of course, she is also a founder and chairperson of Divya Foundation. Divya Foundation is an NGO committed to creating, the awareness among the masses, underprivileged people, and those, school children and poor people. Here we have to highlight one important credentials in terms of series of awards that Dr. Divya has won so far. I remember the recent her award was the best women leader in the category of NGO leader for the year 2022. And the remaining awards I would like to just share quick highlights is about her Padma Shri nomination for 2022. And of course, she is also advisory, in the advisory council of the Association of Indian Principals and vice president of Indian American Chamber of Commerce. And of course, she's also executive editor of Corporate Insights. And there are so many credentials, and it is a privilege for me to welcome Dr. Divya to this talk show, the 12th talk show. And coming back to the topic that we are going to discuss today, is about the exemplary leadership. Often we have seen in certain organizations and the businesses where we'll find the employees are highly engaged. We find the employees are, just winning one after another, various, accolades and the competitions, and you'll find the performance of such employees, such teams is very high because the whole idea is about, creating a cheerleader, and the person who is creating such kind of value addition in such kind of communities and the organizations is none other than the leader who have a privilege to practice the exemplary leaderships. Yes, where the engagement is very high. When we talk about research being done, and it was found that almost 97% of the team members are highly engaged. They are satisfied when they get the leaders who are exemplary leaders. So today we are going to get more credentials, understanding about the experience of Dr. Divya, and we'll try to find out as to how her journey was, because she had played a very important role in at a senior level at various institutions, and it would be a really matter of delight for us, all of us, to understand how her journey was. So the first question, Dr. Divya, is all about when you are practicing exemplary leadership, wherever you were associated in the past and your current association, how you feel that you could create a differentiator for your team by virtue of your exemplary leadership. Over to you, Dr. Divya.
First of all, I really want to say thanks to you, sir, for all that, you that introduction. I think it's very, it's always very, happy to listen all that about yourself. It's very nice. Thanks a lot, sir. And now I start like, it's not about, I'm not a leader as such, sir. I'm trying to become something. I'm still in a process. But when I started our like journey as an NGO, because something I really want to do, I really want to contribute to the society. And when I started our journey in 2013 with, there was certainly there is a mission that I want to contribute to the society. I really want to do something for the society, but there was no vision as such. Because and for that, I really need a team with my kind of a mindset. It's very important whenever you are leading something, whenever you are having a organization, or whenever you are in a top position, you need a people around you, the kind of a mindset they have. If you are having any conflict around you, you cannot become a leader. So the first thing is that is all about listening. I listen to people a lot. I talk to them, okay, and before giving any any kind of feedback, I always listen to their queries, what they are facing basically. And there is always like, I feel like whenever in any organization, there always a kind of a feeling that they are not doing 100% justice to their work. There's always a feeling like, and this is the thing, like they are saying our leader is not good. Okay, one thing, I'm not getting a proper opportunities. I can do much better than that. I'm, and then so many things. The thing is that what is basically they are lacking. They are lacking the commitment. They are lacking the kind of a, the duty, and then lacking the kind of a enthusiasm. That is very important. That you inspire them. You talk to them. You listen to them, and you inspire them. That is all about. I started our journey, and NGO is all about your social responsibility. This is a different kind of a thing. It's not about I'm making any profit. It's all about that we are giving something to the society with a vision that we want something better for the society. We are contributing a bit to the society so that in a future we are making something, so that they can feel like, okay, we are a part of this journey. So it is very important that they feel motivated. Motivation is a very important role, very important key, I think very important key in any organization. And for a leader is to motivate their team, to motivate their subordinate, to motivate their family. And in fact, in a organization also, in a family also, the motivation is always important. There are a time when your what do you say, your plans or your things are getting not in a proper way. You are getting lot of failures, you're getting a lot of negative feedback. You, a leader, must be very positive about the positive criticism and the negative criticism. Is all about the leaders are not listening. That is the main thing that they are facing. They are frustrating about, they are not listening, that we are saying something like that. That is the thing. The communication play a very important role, and you have to be ready for the feedbacks. It's not there in any organization, and that is a difference between a Tata and or other organization. Tata is always work for the organization culture. You have to build that culture in your organization in which you play a very important role as a humanity, and you listen to people, and everything work in a positive way. And that is the difference between the Tata. They believe in a good culture basically, and the other organization they believe in a competition. And that is the competition when you say ki, okay, you have to perform, you have to, the deadlines are important because you have to perform the way. But the thing is that how you perform and how the negative relationships is very very difficult. It is very difficult in a, in an organization. You have to develop a kind of a culture when your employees feel that kind of a trust. Trust is like a currency. You have to earn them. You cannot force them to to believe in you and your decision on your vision, because your team is a part of your vision. Your team is a part of your family. You have to treat them equally. You have to listen to them, and the commitment is very important. Ki if something wrong happened in a future, I am there to help you. I'm there take any kind of a action or any kind of a thing that it is maybe my decisions are wrong, like maybe my decisions are wrong, but I take the full responsibility of our action. It's not about a boss, it's not about the thing that I am taking alone, it's all about we are collectively doing something. So this is the way I started my journey, and somehow I'm able to do it because it's going in a very positive way, not in terms of money making, but in a sense of that we are contributing to the society underprivileged. Because uh, as you told that I'm a cybersecurity expert, because things are I really want to teach them, I really want to things they cannot understand. So it is important to make them understand, okay, this is the thing is going on. If the empowerment thing, I can make them empower. If the skill is there, I can make them. But the thing is that what I can do is like, okay, this is the threat basically going in the society, and cybersecurity is play a very important role nowadays. So if this is the thing, this is the way you can uh, hello.
Yeah, yeah. Please go on.
This is
I
the
can
way
hear.
this is the way you can make your your livelihood in a better way, in a very secure way. This is the thing I started, and somehow I managed to do that. That is the only thing, sir.
Okay, I think this is phenomenal. What Dr. Divya, I would say that your journey. When I really look at the way you have shared your experience, and initially when you talked about two different kind of categories within the team members, those who believes in their own capability, those who believes in their own the goal setting process and achievement motivation. But you also explain about the other kind of categories of the team members, those who are something like they are having surrender mindset. They are not positive in their approach, so they give up easily. They they are not in a position to sustain the any failure. So that's a beautiful experience. But when we talk about the differentiating quality of exemplary leader, you also shared in such a beautiful way, because those are the critical attributes for any leader in terms of creating a differentiation for the team ahead. And that's how the we say the hallmark of an effective leader. So going forward with the second question, when we talk about uh, the difference is all about the transformation, because they are leaders who are unable to create the influence on the team. But on the other hand, exemplary leaders are those who are creating huge amount of transformation within the team and within the organization. Would like to share your experience about how exemplary leadership has really helped to create the transformation, to create that influence where we find the team has really changed and they adopted the new way of working and the new culture that exists, that demands for the huge business growth for the given organization. What do you, Dr. Divya?
There always we I really want to say, we in the last 2 years we really faced something very very unexpected. We are not prepared for that, and nobody's prepared in India and in the world also, okay, that these are the things we are facing this transformation. Now this is something we are talking about. This is a virtual world. Nobody's ready for the virtual world. The thing is that something is the human resource, that is the most important part. The human resource is become the negligible now, the known, that you cannot touch a person. The social distancing is there, the social distancing is there, and after that the lot of things are changed. The transformation is like that, a lot of things are changed. Now there is a transformation in leadership also. So you are, as a leader, you have to be ready for the transformation. You have to learn and unlearn. Whatever you are doing in the past is not significant nowadays. So you have to be ready for that. You cannot be traditional leadership is not nowadays, is not in a way. People are changing nowadays. People are different. People are in 6 months training is very important rather than 3 years training. They are like, okay, the short gains are important. So as a leader, is your responsibility to tell them the kind of a culture they are creating for their subordinate. As I'm a suppose I'm at the head of the position, I'm in the head of the position, but my subordinate, the kind of example I am creating, okay, then maybe there are adverse effect in an organization where maybe we are not working in a positive way, but there always a transformation. Humanity play a very important role. You should be a very good human as a person. You should contribute to the society. That is a constant thing you have to tell your, you have to you have to tell your subordinate, no matter what may be. Maybe we are not working in a very positive way, we are not making any profit, but in a future we will do it. And your past experience, your present experience, or your life journey is an example. That's why it's called the exemplary leadership, because you are creating an example, you are creating a, life journey in front of them. By your example they will learn. By by your example, by the way you behave in an adverse situation is the example for them. They will learn from your negative or positive feedback. They will learn anything, that whatever you are, behaving in a particular situation, the way you behave in a particular situation in the past, they will pursue as an example today only. So that is the thing. The leadership is all about, I cannot tell my student, I cannot tell my, subordinate, I cannot tell my kid to be punctual unless and until I am not punctual. I have to wake up at 5:30 if I want to make my kid to wake up at 6:30. You have to create an example. If I have to be punctual, if I am punctual, I have to create that kind of a example in our organization. Okay, I want to create that kind of a culture. There is no gossiping. That's why I'm not doing it. I have to inspire everybody. That's why I have to inspire everybody around me. I have to talk to people, and I am very consistent in that. And I have to be like very honest in that. That thing I have to create in me first, rather than expect from anybody else. That is a thing of exemplary leadership. Sir.
So thank you very much. I think you have shared a lot of key elements and the qualities of exemplary leader. How he can create the difference for the team that we have discussed in the first question. And second question was all about the transformation. Essentially, as you are rightly said, when we talk about effective leaders and the one who is looking forward to create his aura or the impression or the long lasting impact on the team, the first and foremost quality, as you rightly said, is about the role modeling. The first what we expect from our team to do, it is better that we should demonstrate ourselves. That's how we create that impression that yes, here is someone who is following himself or herself, and then now he's telling us to do, so that is more rational, more logical. And that's how the people who are working under such exemplary
One
leaders.
example I always quote, whoever is reading about leadership must read about Ratan Tata ji, how he behaved in an adverse situation, how he behaved when people are against him, when the cyber mystery things happened, how he behaved, the commitment is important, the goodwill is important, the kind of a relationship he shared with their employees, and the kind of a behavior he shared with other people is very important. Your goodwill is very important. The once you made the commitment is all about the organization culture. That's why it's Tata. That's why it's a leader. That's why he leading this kind of a, this kind of legacy. It's very important. The kind of a culture you will demonstrate in front of your subordinate is very important. That is something is an example in leadership.
Yes, yes, very true. See, because ultimately a leader is one who create a balance. The balance in terms of his AQ, the balance in terms of his EQ, that is emotional quotient, balance in terms of the latest concept called SQ, the spiritual quotient. And when there's a balance across all the quotient, the phenomenal, the delivery of the impact will happen. And that's the hallmark of a leader who are essentially, understanding the situations. Let's first understand what the situation exists within the organization. What are the internal factors influencing the situation? What are the external factors influencing the overall situation? And look at where we stand and look where the team stands. And the one who is looking forward to create, articulate a right strategy for the people, for the, for the stakeholders, for the customers, and importantly for the business itself in terms of the long term gains, because ultimately those who believe in long term gains are, are essentially, they are ready to create that aura that kind of long-term journey, because in terms of short gains versus long-term gains, there's always dispute, because we always say there's nothing called fly by night. We always
Yes.
have to refocus. We have to ensure that whatever the vision that we have set for the organization, could be a 3 years vision or 5 years vision, could be a long-term strategy. There has to be an appropriate strategy in place. There has to be appropriate commitment in place. And of course, the last question we discuss about the transformation, because the leader who get himself or herself transformed the way it is expected from him or her is the one who is going to create that impression, that influence on the team, because the creating influence is very important. You can't persuade others by not changing, first. One has to start the journey, one has to take first step, and that's the whole idea about what a leadership can create a difference. We always say a leader can make or he can break, but the one who is believed, who believes in creating the hopes among the people, that is one point which I would like to highlight here, that you have presented. The leader is one who create the hopes among the team members, among the organizations, among the stakeholders, among the customers for the long-term relationship. And that's how we always believe in hitting the long-term target by ensuring that we can have a clear-cut navigation map. And when you have a navigation map in front of you, and when you take everyone along with you, by creating a balance of keeping their aspirations in mind, keeping their hopes in mind, keeping their expectations in mind, the beautiful journey begins. And ultimately such leader who himself we can consider as an exemplary leader will be in a better position to take the entire team to the desired destination. When they reach there, this is time for the celebration, this is a time for winning, and this is the time for greeting each other. And that's how the leadership really get inspired. Not only they inspire themselves, but they keep on inspiring the entire people around them. That's the beauty of the leadership. So thank you very much, Dr. Divya, for your quality time, because your presentation was phenomenal, and both the responses that you have shared based on your
Hope I
life journey.
justify the topic. Hope I justified the topic, because this is something is not me. I'm a cyber security expert, but I really want to try this thing, because leadership is everywhere, and you have to create an example. Because first you have to create an example. This is all about leadership till now. I understood. Okay, sir.
So on the contrary, when I really look at your last award, about Women Leadership 2022, where you got the award as an NGO leader, I mean, you have already established yourself as a leader, and that's how hats off to you for your
I think
credential.
humility play a very important role. That is a thing I think we are forgetting nowadays. It's not about the social distancing, it's all about the emotional distancing nowadays. We are forgetting something very fundamental, that
Yes,
humility play a very important. You should be a human first. You have to be a caring. That is all about. That is all about Tata and Sons. They
true, true, true.
follow the that route. Tata is all about humanity. They follow not business. They always follow the okay. The long term gains is there. If something is they are the cyber mystery case. If the losses is there, they are ready to sacrifice. They are ready to pay for that. But reputation and humanity play a very important role, and that is all about our life too.
Yes, and we also say, when we talk about really moving forward, there are certain qualities that every leader, must bear in mind. And when we talk about, creating that long-lasting influence among the minds of the masses and the people and the team around, I think this is, very important aspect about the mindset, because the kind of values that we try to live. Ultimately, at the end of the day, these are the values that will support you. The one which being demonstrated again and again, being practiced again and again, the one who really believes in self-talk is the one leader who create that kind of impression, and where people will remember him or her not for any other reason, but the values that person has lived during the own tenure, and the way he has created that smile, that confidence on the face of the people around. And that's how the phenomena is all about. So we are really thankful to you for your quality time, and then biggest thank you to all our viewers. They are devoting their quality time, though they have their other priorities, but today they have joined us, and they have really being a part of this wonderful and insightful discussion. So thank you very much, doctor. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.